right, everybody, we are back. Yeah, this is an interesting episode for me because I don't know if you're following on Instagram or anything, but I made a story about it earlier this month. I went through a pretty shitty situation, got in a really bad car crash, but honestly, what it taught me and what I'm taking away from it is just see the positives. And yeah, there's no point in going into the depths of it, no point in going into all the details. And I wish I didn't have to go through something like that in order to feel this way, but I am loving every single day now. And it is impossible to not be positive when you are able to wake up every day. Shane is absolutely the perfect guest for this episode because not only has he been through similar situations, but talking to him is like one of my favorite things because he's such a positive person. And that's honestly what I need in my life. So I could talk for hours about things that have happened and like the way I'm looking at things differently now, but I think you're going to hear it in this episode. And I think we should just get right into it. So Shane O'Leary, one of my favorite episodes yet. This is a new podcast now. I'm excited. Let's go. We both come from like the mechanical background.
Yeah.
Or like being mechanics, because it's the exact same thing where it's like, yeah, like that makes so much sense of like the love of motorsport and like everything like side. But I could also tell from like the type of person that you are that adds up so much because like we connected like day one because it's
instant.
Like that moment where it's like, I love this, but I don't love this.
Yeah.
And like there's a big difference. And it's like, I think that's like a really important thing as like a human / like in life, whatever you're doing, whether it be like in a relationship or in like your career or in like whatever, is just like don't do things for the sake of doing them, but actually because you actually want to do them.
Yeah.
And like when you do, I say from experience, when you do those things, it's a freaking different ball game.
Like those things are better.
It's so much different because it's like if I'm insanely passionate about one thing, then you actually do it. It is very different than when you're working as a mechanic and you kind of like it. But the thing is like a lot of people, because I've done the transition.
Yeah.
And it's not all rainbows. I came out of high school, didn't know what I was going to do. Eventually landed on mechanics because like that was the only thing that I really saw was like I actually liked. You know what I mean? It was cars and like it was one of those times where like I was pretty down on like the outlook of life and I was like, hey, I'll go try and be a mechanic. And then like you get there and you're like, what we were talking about earlier, like if that's what I'm going to end up with, like the guy next to me on the hoist next to me is like unhappy 24/7. That's not really the goal like for me. And then like obviously like speaking about like some of the stuff that like that sounds like apparently you, but like what I said in like the intro, but like we've both been through some stuff that has like changed our perception on life. And like that's very not I was going to say important, but it's very like rewarding to, if you're looking at it from the positive, to go through an experience like that because it makes you appreciate everything around you and like the opportunities that you are in front of you and things like that. So
it's really easy, I found it, to pick up on gratitude after an experience like that. Because I feel like once you've had an experience where there was literally no option except for like survive or die, it's really easy to figure out there's actually something in the middle of those two things. And like you can be grateful for the situations you have, like whether it's that 9 to 5 or the creative or anything, right? A guy I work with said he wasn't mad at me, but he was like kind of giving me a little bit of the gears. And he was like, you should be grateful for these problems. You asked for them when you started here. And I was like, you know what, man, I did. Like, this was the position I've been working towards for a long time.
It's like what's going around recently, at least like online, where it's like, I'm so grateful to be tired from like the work that I once dreamed of.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, how can you complain about that? Like,
yeah.
Having been through the experiences that we've talked about and the things that we've both been through is like, I can't say about it because I didn't experience it, but it's like coming straight out of school and just like turning into a creative and like blah, blah, blah. You know, like we've experienced like both being like a mechanic or working different jobs along the way and things like that. So like when you get to a photo shoot at SEMA or something like that, you're like, man, I'm living the dream here. Like this is what I dreamed of. So like when you're super tired that night or like the next morning, like having to like load your bag and go shoot again or like your edit and like it's really hard to complain about, right?
Like, you know the saying like the beer feels colder, the beer tastes better after a hard day's work or something like that?
Yeah.
The Red Bull tastes different at 5 a.m. before a shoot, man. After you've been doing it for like a week or something, there's that one Red Bull where you hit it and you're like, okay, like lock in, let's get it done. Hey, I'm super curious. How did you get from cars to cameras?
So yeah, I mean, it's such a long story. And I actually like I was working on a YouTube video of like an updated YouTube video kind of like about the journey. And
Cool.
then went through like what I went through earlier this month. And now I've kind of like started to, I've completely deleted the video and I'm like reapproaching the whole concept,
Cool.
kind of going over like that. But yeah, man, it's like such a long journey. And it's like kind of exactly like I have the same question to you, right? It's like we've been in such a similar position
Yeah.
where like, I would say probably if I wanted to keep it as short as possible, it comes down to like what we were talking about earlier again of like finding out what you actually love doing.
Cool.
From my experience, it's impossible to me to not chase after what I want to do and what I want to spend my time doing
Yeah.
and how I want to live my life.
Something excites you and you just like want to go grab it.
And it's like you don't even have there's no option to me.
Yeah.
Like it's not even there's no other option.
I love that.
Like it's just that is the plan, and like I will do anything it takes to get to where there was a certain time in the in like life or whatever where it was like I want to get to here, but then now it's like I have just as much fun going up to Island Circuit and filming cars on like a random track day
Yeah.
as I do at an F1 race or an F1 Academy race.
See, that's something I've always been super jealous of on your side is you know, shooting F1 Academy.
And
That's that's the show as far as motorsport goes. I grew up watching Michael Schumacher and you know the late '90s, early 2000s, like
Kimmy,
that. Man, the Iceman,
yeah, dude.
like down Spa.
If I can go to Spa, don't even get me started.
Oh,
Yeah, don't get me
dude.
started. Silverstone and Spa, the two
Yes,
on the
man.
list. Yeah.
And it just like seeing somebody that I'm friends with get to do that is so cool.
But I think honestly, from experience here, and I love hearing that, thank you. But the coolest part for me, and this is such a something I talk to a lot with like local clients and like the local stuff that I do just from where I live, is like I've really focused on like enjoying my time.
Yeah.
And like the best part about the F1 Academy, Ella Lloyd and like the way her like family and the way she approaches racing and everything like that
Yeah.
is exactly in line with the way that I like view everything. You know what I mean? So
Your outlook to how you're approaching the project is similar to how she's approaching the race. It just makes sense to marry those two and have you capture that.
It's such a good feeling when you're like,
awesome.
it's kind of like the Island Circuit thing versus like, it's like, it doesn't matter what level I'm working at this point. It's like when I feel that connection to like the values and the outlook and like the experience, it's just a better time. Like
Dude.
it's hard to put into words, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing that I've had those opportunities. Yeah.
I so badly needed to hear that because I was thinking about it on the way here, like my happy place is trackside. And between you, me, and everybody listening, like the last 6 months mentally for me has been horrific. It's been really, really tough. Like I told you before we started recording, like I literally took an entire gallery from like my dream trip and garbaged it. I was so unhappy with it. I was so in my own head on the trip. Like I just couldn't enjoy it for some reason. And then I've had a few recent shoots and I've just been so unhappy with them. The last one I did, I was like, okay, like I feel pretty good about it. I delivered it. I sent it all out. Not a single download. Not even the people that got it for free downloaded it. And I was like, ooh, like I am in the middle of getting humbled here. Like I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong and figure out how I can like get back to that like super happy place, trackside shooting enjoyment sort of thing. And
yeah, so many things come to mind. Sorry, keep going.
no, it's crazy though. Like it's how badly I needed to hear that.
I know, but it's also just like the way that you're speaking right now about your experiences, because it's like a lot of people apparently just give up in that moment, right? And like a lot of people do certain things in that moment, but it's like I love the way that like you approach it, and it's kind of the same way I approach it. It's like, okay, like what did I do wrong? Right? Like, what did I, like, instead of just being like, I guess it didn't work out for something that isn't to do with me, is like, it's like everyone can be better at what they're doing. Yeah. Whether you're the driver or you're the one taking the photos or you're the one managing, like, there's so many different positions in all of this. Right?
You're the left front wheel guy. Like, that needs to go on and off now.
And so if you're dialed in doing that and that's your passion, then like, you're not going to sit there when something goes wrong and be like, I give up. You're going to sit there and be like, what can I do better? And how can I make changes? And how can I approach this differently? And all of those things, I think those are honestly what makes like the best artists from my experience. Because honestly, I'm sure you can attest to this. We all know people who could probably make a better video than I can, or who could take a better photo than you can from our position. but they aren't in those positions because they didn't follow through with it.
I feel like I'm not in those positions because I'm not following through with it.
But Shane, it's because you're a good artist. And I look at your photos, man, and like I saw the
Thank you, man.
Japan stuff and I saw the stuff you uploaded, and I'm in awe, right? So like that's how I feel.
I'm
and
happy it's mutual. It goes both ways.
And we're not saying this to like make each other feel good. It's just the truth.
The way it goes.
So like as artists, whatever you're doing, a musician, like creative side, painting pictures, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Everyone feels that, from my experience, that like self-doubt, and like not necessarily like dwelling on it, but learning and taking from that.
Yeah.
And like we talked about earlier, is like being a positive person, whatever realm, whatever career, whatever, is like the difference, is, in my opinion. Yeah.
I had somebody the other day, I've got a good, I'm very grateful to have a really, really good support system and really good friends around me. And I was honestly bitching in a group chat to some of the photographers that I'm in this chat with.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the dudes was like, shut up. You're literally the reason that imposter syndrome exists. It's like, stop saying these things about your photos. Because I was going, oh, the color's not right. I don't like the framing. I did this wrong, ball. And they're like, it's for a completely different niche. You don't shoot. Like, why are you caring about this? And I was like, yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah. And you grew up playing sports. From my experience, when like I played hockey, I got pretty competitive and made some teams that I was pretty proud about. But there wasn't a time when I was like, I can't do a slap shot the way that I like. You know what I mean? There wasn't like, I think it's like an artistic thing where you're like really revealing like this side of you, and you're like putting it out into the world. And then like if you don't get that like instant gratification or whatever gratification, you start to doubt, and like the mental health side comes into it. And I really do like those conversations that seem to be more popular in like the last few years of like whatever realm. Yeah, it's just like really relatable, and like anyone listening, I'm sure, can relate to that because we've all felt it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, like bringing up the sports, like the slap shot ideology or analogy. Like when you're on that team or in that league, you see guys shoot harder, faster, more accurate, better than you, and you kind of work towards it. But in today's age, I open Instagram, everyone I see on my feed is more talented than me. Everything I look at, I'm like, I suck, I'm not good enough, I can't do this. So like imagine how detrimental that would be for somebody who's not confident enough to be like, I suck at this, I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah. And then you like, that's how it's always been for me, is like, I never thought I was good at it. I got into photography because I got robbed. I literally got mugged at knife point.
Okay, well tell me that
story.
And
the only thing I had on me was a point and shoot Nikon Coolpix camera. And I lost it. They took it away from me on the streets of Dublin when I first moved there. Didn't know anybody.
So that's where the knife comes in, but just Britain.
Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't a. No, I'm not.
Anyways, I like to make comedy out of stuff. Sorry, I'm so bad. Yeah.
No, please do.
The worst person.
And these dudes ran up on me. They mugged me. They took the camera. I bartered for my passport. Essentially, I was like, bro, you can't take that.
Yeah,
I actually need that.
You don't mess with it.
You can have the camera. You can have the 20 quid in my pocket, but like, I need the passport. So I gave it up. I eventually like moved through.
Everyone has a conscience. I'm glad they didn't take it.
Right? Or stab me.
Yeah. Well, other one. Yeah.
Could have been a cool scar. They
just need the passport. I'm done.
Can I get that back though, real quick? Like I know I'm bleeding out here, but like please.
Oh goodness.
And I find like I got into a place to live. I got a job, all this sort of stuff, and I got re-connected with my parents, who I hadn't been in talks with very much because of just money situation over there. Like I didn't have money for Wi-Fi. It's 2012. Like it's not the connectivity we feel now. It was very like there were internet cafes and like Wi-Fi was expensive and all this sort of stuff. And I called my mom and I was like, look, like I really think it's cool here. I want to take pictures to remember it by. I don't have this camera anymore. Like I found this cheap Nikon camera, and I had always kind of wanted a DSLR. Like I was never in photography in high school, but I was like, God, those cameras look sick. They make cool sounds.
That feeling, you know, I know the feeling. I know the feeling,
And I was really drawn to it. And it was a Nikon D3000. I still have that camera. I started posting on my blog at the time. I think it's still up. I don't know the web address, but I can link it for you eventually. We can put it in the comments.
Shane, something like that.
No, dude, it's .weebly.com. Man.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I think it's like Today with Shane O'Leary. Weebly.com or something
so
goofy
good.
Like that.
We'll put it in the description. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, link it. And I started posting on there, and people were like, "These don't suck." Looking back at it now, terrible pictures. But people were like, "These don't suck. This is cool to see. Like neat." And then when I came home, I had a Mark III Supra. Like I was always a car person. I got out of that car into like an RX-7 and like a bunch of other things. And I was going to these meets, and it was just so expensive that I couldn't necessarily afford the stuff for the car, but I had this Nikon D3000 and I just kept taking pictures and pictures and pictures. And I met a buddy of mine from Kelowna who like taught me what Lightroom was and all that. And it was just like looking at the pearly gates opening and just being like, I can change the color. Like,
wait a sec.
I can. Shadows aren't that
more than
harsh.
Black and white and sepia.
Oh my god, dude! Right? Like, I don't have to use Valencia on Instagram anymore. This is amazing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. And I just started taking more and more and more pictures, and then people just started asking if they could pay me for them, and I was like,
"That's a very cool experience."
Why? Like, this is just a hobby. And they're like, "No, but they're good," and blah blah blah. And then there was like a turning point. I shot.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt really quick, but I think it's so cool getting paid to do photos. Because like
the coolest.
Like that's the coolest thing. Like video, I can understand a little bit, but like a photo, if you're good at taking photos and someone wants to pay you just to take photos, that is literally the dream.
But
like
the
that is
crazy
so cool,
thing though, dude,
like,
is
anyway.
Behind it, you don't think you're good at taking photos.
The more autobiographies I've read, the more like I really start listening to like podcasts and like people from like who've looked up.
Nobody thinks they're good at it.
At anything, really. Like, so it's, anyway, sorry to interrupt again.
It's such an interesting sort of like niche to get into and work in, because it's so tough mentally to continue to feel like you're not doing good enough. And there was the turning point that I was going to say was a really, really good friend of mine now who I looked up to as a photographer for a long time, Sheldon Dent. Check him out. He's in Kelowna. He doesn't shoot anything anymore because he kind of sucks. No, I'm just kidding. He's fantastic. I love Sheldon. Shout out Sheldon Dent. He does weddings, high-end weddings, phenomenal imagery. He commented, like sent me a direct message, and we weren't really that good of friends at this point. He sent me his message. He's like, bro, you're getting really good at photos, man. Like, these are sick. What are you doing? I knew nothing. He was like, how did you do this? I was like, I don't know. These are my settings. He's like, that's what you're setting? You're an idiot. You're bad at this. And so now I still to this day, this is like 10 years ago, I still send him every single gallery I shoot, and I message it to him first. And he has got me. I shot a Aston Martin meet once, and like huge meet, gorgeous property. Like, you know, there was 100 Aston Martins in this one spot.
Gorgeous cars,
Yeah, I sent him the gallery, and he sends it back. He's like, this is your worst work I've seen in a long time. He's like, your color grade is off. Their angles, everything's off.
I'm very, very envious that you have like what I would call a mentor.
Do you want him? Like, no, I would pass him off to you,
but the thing is,
He's
you can
brutal.
never buy in or like, you know, convince someone to care. You know what I mean? Simply put.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've had mentors in hockey and soccer.
But yeah, like the mentor was really cool, but like now we've just become really, really good friends. But I still send him those galleries, and I still send it to him because I know that he's a person that if I send it to and I suck, he's not scared to tell me.
No, but that's the point that I was going to make, is like, that's why having a mentor, whatever industry, whatever career, whatever you're doing, is like having somebody who will tell you their actual honest opinion and based off experience is absolutely priceless.
But then being able to take it.
Yes, because again, that comes down to like your character and like not you as an artist, but you as a person. There's a big difference there.
Can take constructive criticism and be like, oh, well, fuck you, I like it, and move on. But I think there's something to be said about like looking more introspectively on it and being like, are they right? Is that color wrong? Is that framing off? Could I have done better? What did I do wrong? And then flipping things on the next shoot and learning something on the next shoot.
It's
and
hard
doing it
because like I'm not saying from experience here, I'm not a parent. But again, like going back to like what I've read and like what I've heard and seen of like all the people who I've looked up to for years and aspired to be and things like that, it all kind of is interesting because one thing is like a common denominator between all of them is like they probably have a parent, not both parents, but a parent, a family member, someone they care vastly about their opinion, and they are extremely hard on them. And that is then translated into you eventually being extremely hard on yourself and not saying, if somebody is like, this isn't your great gallery, you don't respond being like, yeah, but I did so well. Like, it's such a, like, I try, like,
I tried.
Like, yeah,
and we know you tried.
I have so much, like, it's a back and forth thing about the like new, like participation medal conversation and all that and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if you really look at like history here, learn from our history, all the people who have achieved great things have not come from a situation where they're not able to look at themselves realistically and honestly and then make real improvements instead of just sticking at that same level because everyone around them is saying you did so great when you necessarily could do better. And that's the difference. It's like, I don't need to hear negative thoughts all the time, but I just want to be realistic with myself. And it's like we were talking about earlier with a project with Ella. It's like I approached her saying I could do better. So that is, and then I tried to do better, right? So it's like,
and then stepping up and being humble enough to say, like, look, that may not have been my best work. This is the bar I set myself to, and this is what I'm working towards, and this is where we're going to get to.
And that's why it's so awesome that you have somebody in your life who will say that to you.
So grateful.
Versus like,
I got a few of those though. The group chat's pretty ruthless. I should add you to that one actually. It's a good one.
Priceless, man. Like that's priceless from my experience.
Did you ever play The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time growing up?
I'm terrible with names, especially with concussions right now, but I definitely played a lot of Zelda. So
Video games. Yeah. You remember that? It was you were a kid at the start, and there was like a couple of levels, and then you like got to be an adult, and there was more level. That game, I saw a podcast recently. I can't remember what it was, and then we were talking about it today at work, where they said that millennials, like our generation, our brains were shaped a little bit different, and it added a level of resiliency that they're not seeing in future generations or current generations. Because the games that we grew up playing were brutally difficult, man. There was a level in that where if you put the water to the wrong level at the wrong time,
I remember
that was it. The water temple, man, it was over. Like, good luck, you're done.
And now
go
you can
restart.
Like, look up, I think there's thinking about adding a thing in video games now with like an AI side where it's like if you get stuck, it can come in and just kind of honestly sort it out for you.
But they have that though. They have the mission objectives now. We're like, oh, do this one
the call center back in the day for like N64 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
so funny, man. But yeah, it's.
I think I remember making my parents buy me the like walkthrough for Ocarina of Time. I mean, like I can't. The book. Yeah. I need help, dude. I am stuck.
But you got to a point where you. Yeah, no.
Few things feel better than beating that game, though. Still, to this day, if I do an annual playthrough,
very like to this day, I think about consistently is Fable. But it's one of those things, like again, like what we were talking about before we started recording, is like just being a positive person, and it's like maybe due to the experiences that we've been through and stuff, but it's like seeing the positive in whatever situation is so much more enjoyable, like to be around, so much more enjoyable to experience, so much more like. And it comes back to like Fable, where it's like you at the very start, you either choose like you're going to be a good guy or you're going to be a bad guy, and it's like it's pretty significant the difference. Like I've played both.
Oh,
like it's I don't know, man. It's like I connect it all the time to like my career and like the way I approach art. And it's like if you can take those moments of like maybe I didn't do my best and I could do better.
Yeah.
And still see the positive and be like, okay, how can I improve? Instead of sitting there like it didn't go the way I wanted, and whatever like that road is. Yeah, exactly.
Guess I'm done.
What do you get out of that?
Yeah.
And what does anyone around you get out of that? Like no one enjoys this. If you're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. So
if it sucks that much, then go do something you like.
It's not that complicated. I do understand the complications of like you can't always do the things you want because of like being responsible as a parent.
Life
or like
gets in the way, man.
I'm not trying to make it all sound too easy, but it's like
I think that goes back to what we were saying before we started recording, where like life has and probably always will at its baseline suck. But it's not easy. Like you're gonna sit there and say that people that were like on ships exploring the world had a great time doing it. No, they had scurvy. They were shitting overboard. Like it was terrible.
The plague's a real thing. Like
that sucked.
Yeah.
And so when I'm sitting there in these moods where I'm like, oh, everything sucks, like this isn't worth it, blah, 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 because we all have those days. Like nobody has a good day every day. But when you're in that vibe, like there's gotta be something that makes you check yourself and makes you realize like, it doesn't suck. And maybe that's the dog, maybe that's the place you live, maybe that's the car you drive, maybe that's the team you work with. The
support system that you have by the sounds of it, which is so priceless. Yeah, no, I think it's super important.
Do you have a really ruthless support system? Like people that will make fun of you to no end though?
Now, not so much, but I've experienced that in life.
Did you like it? People that you know
at the time, not necessarily, but it's what has absolutely built the character that is you hear now in this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I grew up playing hockey with my brother, who's 5 years older than me. I ended up playing on a lot of his teams and things like that. And it was like my brother is like the third parent. You know what I mean? Like he made me who I am.
He learned you.
Yeah. And I have nothing but I don't even, this isn't that podcast, but I'd do anything, you know what I mean, for him. But
absolutely.
It's like he would tell me when I was like, you should have passed, you should have shot, you should have like you skate harder. Like you don't like, he's not out here trying to like make me his best friend, but that's what makes me my best friend. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, and having those people in your life, I definitely understand the like reality of, but also like the importance. So like, who do you have? Because yeah, who do you? Yeah.
Just the support system I've got now, like it's just a really good group of people who we're all different in our own little ways and all this kind of stuff. We all have very, very similar hobbies, and whether it's motorsport or cameras and all, we've got this nice little group. And it's a big group that I've traveled to Japan with. You get us in the same room, with or without drinks or something to do or anything like that. A, we're having an awesome time, and B, we are deeply mean to each other in the best possible way. Like, it's so refreshing to be around people that care about you enough to like dig at your feelings
100%.
and be like, oh, that made you mad? Why?
I mean, yeah.
And then you
maybe
explore
that's
it, you figure it out, and you
the
kind
hockey side of me coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and also
you come to terms with it. You
yeah.
understand it better. You become
I
a little bit
only
more
am
confident
mean
with it.
to, or like chirp people, quote unquote, that I love. You know, Joel, our engineer, can attest to that. So like, it's like Jeff, Joel, you can definitely attest to that. Like, I would never. I love that relationship, and maybe that's like our generation. Maybe it's our experiences, like
It could be.
like hockey and things like that. And like, hockey is an interesting topic, especially like with nowadays with the like culture. It seems to be very different than like when we grew up playing hockey.
Yeah.
And I say that from like experience of like, there's apparently a lot of bad sides of hockey that like I didn't necessarily see or experience, but like I try to see the positives.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't speak to those negative sides. That's not the experience I had with hockey growing up. I mean, I only played like low level house hockey.
I don't think
didn't
it's
play
hockey. I think
anything
it's
big,
just team sports, and like I think it's like,
do you think it's just people coming into the like into the light? Like, social media makes it so easy to see everything, hear everything, be a part of everything all the time. It's too much, man.
100%.
And I think that's why I like photos so much. Is it like it takes me out of the constant always, and it just puts me into the like that one moment, that 1 second, that millisecond when you drag that knee on the track on your bike, that 1 second you tap the wall with your drift car, or the passing moment.
It's I guarantee anyone listening to this podcast can relate, because they're probably listening to it for a reason. That moment when you're at the track with a camera, or you're on a shoot with a camera, it's like, to me, or like whatever it is you're after in life, but like that moment and that feeling, I only get from being behind my camera at the track, really.
Yeah.
Like it's like I feel just, I don't even feel anything. I just like, I'm just one with the camera.
Dude,
I'm just like, it's just, this is it. Like,
it's one of the rare times where I actually get to feel in the moment. So many other like most racetracks these days, the service on my phone sucks.
I love it.
Nobody's calling me.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at my emails.
Yeah.
I'm not checking Instagram. I'm not doing any of that social media.
You could call me 100 times and I'm probably not going to answer, because I'm just so focused on like, it's the most I've ever felt of like in the moment, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's the best feeling ever. So
it's
like,
so cool.
Why would I not do everything in my power while I'm on this earth to do that?
Absolutely.
Or to like prioritize that, or to, I think like what's very like daunting and like it seems unachievable, like getting to like these crazy levels or whatever, like doing crazy shoots like we've all done, or like we've both done. And it's like, you don't plan when you pick up a camera like at the start
at all,
ever, to get to there, right? Like you're just following that feeling. And it's the same thing. I work with a lot of musicians. Is like, they're not, I've talked to them a lot, like the various like levels of popularity or like whatever. None of them got into it because they wanted to be on Jimmy Fallon, or like, you know what I mean? Like they do it because they don't see another option. And that's just like when they feel at home and like they can live in the moment, and
it's just natural. It fits, everything kind of clicks in that moment, and it's good.
Honestly, just absolutely priceless.
It's an interesting one though, when you have that feeling and that association of peace with being trackside and then coming home to a gallery that you struggle to edit or you struggle to put together. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I've definitely experienced, there's a lot of videos that I could go through my Instagram. I've deleted a lot of videos afterwards, and so many different projects over the years being like, I absolutely hate this. I can't even watch it. So why would it be on my, and it comes down to like the color grade, or it comes down to how I dealt with the audio like we were talking about, or it comes down to like,
that's why we have an engineer.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing audio. But no, it comes down to like, I don't know like the secret recipe of how I deal with it necessarily.
Cool.
But that's kind of what I'm learning and why I love talking to you, because like we talked about it. It's like, it's that perseverance. It's that like, yes, there are gonna be days, bad days, whatever, or like moments where I like doubt myself, or like
Mm.
I look at a certain project, but then like you look at someone else's work and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And
They probably felt the way you feel working on that project that you think is so amazing, though. And there's probably some kid who looks at your work, maybe my work, who is sitting there being like, this is what I want to do. This
not
is
maybe
amazing.
your work, yes, your work.
And yes, your work.
No, but it's true, because I've seen your work, and that's how I feel. So it's
kids
like
probably have that, or people probably have that
and it's
feeling.
hard to remember, but that's exactly hit it head on the nail.
Yeah, like
something that sticks with me, and I've mentioned it in a podcast before, but something that really always stuck with me is like this one. I've had a few conversations like, how did you get here and stuff, like on trackside and after events and stuff. But there was this one kid in like Long Beach who was so young, and like his
Long Beach, what a flex!
Like
what a flex!
But like anyway, but like his mom was there, and he's like, I remember his mom being like, go talk to him and stuff. And it's just like that moment, it really taught me of like, it's all relative to like where you're at in your career or where you're at the time. And like we look back at stuff, whether it be like your last trip or years ago, and like you're like, oh, I kind of hate this, and I don't even want it to be like part of my portfolio, or I can't even like look at this or whatever. But exactly like you said, other people don't look at it like that. And I don't look at your work, Shane, like that ever. Not once have I ever seen your photo and been like, he could do better here. Like,
appreciate you, man.
It's not a thing.
You can tell me if I can, though. Please feel free to. Like, I love that criticism.
So like,
I love that criticism, though. I feed on that criticism, and I think personally, I think I really like, and I hate this about myself a little bit. I think I feed on negativity more than positivity. When people tell me I'm doing a good job, I'm like, no, you're wrong. Right? Like, I'm not doing a good job. It's not good enough. I want it to be better. When people are like, you suck, I'm like, okay, now it's time that I need to do better.
And you look at like Max Verstappen, you look at like Gordon Ramsay,
the
you look
mindset
at
out of these guys.
Yeah, but you look at any of them, and all of them have like a father or mother figure, or like someone figure who they look up to in their life that has always kind of undersold their achievements, or like not let them feel humbled is the word I'm looking for. And yeah, we could, like we've talked about a million times already, but like, yeah, we could look at that as a negative, but like that is what builds character, and that is what has got us to where we're at now. So I'm not going to see that as a negative anymore.
Nobody in any place of success has got there only on positivity. There's so much negativity in every single day of every single person's life that makes you who you are. And if you're not able to get over it, to get through it, to get past it, and to learn from it, it's going to eat you alive.
And we're not, like, for anyone listening, like Shane and I aren't invincible. Like, we're not, like Shane has said, it's like we have days where like,
dude, I almost cried watching the Piston Cup. Lightning McQueen not winning that was a heartbreak, bro. And it was on Pixar for doing that to me. Like,
there's days that are not like storybook, you know what I mean? It's like the Miles Davis quote where it's like, learn to deal with the valleys because the peaks will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like being able to maintain that positive outlook in life. That isn't an artist thing. That isn't our career thing. That's a personal trait that like people, like one of the keys of life, in my opinion.
It's also a choice, though.
It is a choice for sure.
That's the thing that really was hard for me to figure out, was that it's not something that just happens. You don't become positive. You choose to be positive. You choose to say like,
very well.
That sucked anyway.
Yeah.
And look at the upside.
Some
look
of the
at
most
those peaks.
Like
look
positive,
for those peaks.
Fun people I know, like some of my friends who are like the best to hang out with, like just have like such a good experience every time I like hang out with them, right? You then like get to know these people like way better, and you realize that it's like not, I hate the word like front. It's not a front. It's them being like so mature and like full that they're able to like, yes, they have moments where they're down as well. Everyone has those moments, but they're able to like still feel that sometimes, and then still see the positive in life. And like you said, it's a choice. It's not something that just you have. No one has that like mentality in the world, but yeah, being able to like,
coming back to like motorsport, you look at Roman Grosjean in what, 2021?
Yeah.
You pull 50-some, 60-some Gs going through a barrier, rip the car in half.
Yeah.
Have you seen him talking about that? It's such an incredible conversation where he says, like, I was looking around and accepted I was gone, and then was like, I'm not gone. I and he's
You
like,
could-
I
you
gotta
know
get
that
out of here.
experience,
Like,
yeah.
I gotta, yeah, I
It's
need
not
to
the
do
exact
something
same. You're not on
about this.
fire, but it's like the day
But-
after you wake up after a crash, or the
Yeah.
day after you wake up after a massive snowboarding injury. By the sounds of it, It's
Yeah,
like,
but you
it's
choose to get back into
Yeah.
the cockpit. You choose to go race again. You choose to go shoot again. You choose to go back to work. It doesn't matter what it is. You're choosing everything all the time.
you're choosing positivity to see like
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's I think honestly that's not a creative thing, but it
Oh
is
my
a creative
God,
thing.
is that the name of this episode?
Ooh,
Choose positive.
New hoodies incoming.
Oh,
shit.
merch drop.
Dropping
Merch drop.
Nuts. God, I love you, Shane. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, you said it, the Roman's the perfect example, and yeah, I think like maybe it's like what happened earlier this month. Maybe it's like whatever we've been through. But like honestly, that's the reality of like what I would say is at the heart of everything. That's the like most important thing.
Yeah, choose positive.
Mhm.
That's it. I mean, how many girls have that tattooed on their arm?
Not enough. All right.
Not enough.
Love you, Shane.
Cool, man.
Thank
Love you
so
too.
much.
That was awesome. Thanks
Love
for hanging
it.
out, man. That was great.